They crossed the line. Jimmy Uso was just trying to buy groceries like any normal human being, and some absolute coward decided to turn a simple trip to the supermarket into a nightmare. This isn't just an attack on Jimmy Uso, this is an attack on every single wrestler who's ever stepped foot in that ring to entertain us. And if you think this is just some isolated incident, you're dead wrong. The footage I'm about to show you will make your blood boil, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why this attack represents everything that's wrong with how we treat our wrestling heroes. But before we dive into the shocking details of what really happened outside that supermarket, let me ask you something that's going to infuriate you. Why do wrestlers have to live in fear when they're just trying to live their normal lives? Why do they have to look over their shoulders every time they step outside? Jimmy Uso didn't deserve this, and neither does any wrestler who's ever sacrificed their body for our entertainment. The attack on Jimmy Uso wasn't just a random act of violence, it was a calculated assault on one of WWE's biggest stars, and the way it went down will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about fan behavior and the dark side of wrestling fame. This isn't just news, people, this is a wake-up call that we all need to hear. Jimmy Uso, one half of the legendary USO twins, was simply trying to grab some essentials from his local supermarket when his entire world was turned upside down. Picture this, you're just finished with your shopping, probably thinking about getting home to your family, maybe planning what you're going to cook for dinner, and suddenly you're face to face with someone who sees you not as a human being, but as a target. The eyewitness accounts paint a picture that will make you sick to your stomach. Jimmy was reportedly walking to his car, minding his own business, when this unidentified individual approached him. Now, here's where it gets really disturbing. This wasn't a fan looking for an autograph or a selfie. This was someone who had violence on their mind from the very beginning. According to multiple witnesses who were brave enough to speak out, the attacker didn't even try to engage Jimmy in conversation first. There was no, "Hey, can I get a picture?" or, "I'm a huge fan." No, this person went straight for confrontation, and that tells us everything we need to know about their intentions. This was premeditated, people. Someone woke up that day and decided that Jimmy Uso was going to be their victim. The physical altercation that followed was captured on multiple smartphones, because of course, in today's world, everyone's first instinct is to record rather than help. But I'm actually glad these videos exist because they prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Jimmy Uso was the victim here, not the aggressor. The footage shows Jimmy trying to de-escalate the situation, trying to walk away, trying to avoid confrontation, but his attacker wouldn't let him. What makes this even more infuriating is that Jimmy sustained injuries during this attack. These might be minor injuries, according to the reports, but let me tell you something. Any injury sustained by a professional wrestler outside of their controlled environment is major. These athletes put their bodies on the line every single night for our entertainment, and now they have to worry about getting hurt while buying milk and eggs. That's unacceptable. The fact that Jimmy didn't require hospitalization is being treated like good news, but let's be real here, the fact that a WWE superstar was injured badly enough that hospitalization was even a consideration is absolutely terrifying. What if this attacker had been carrying a weapon? What if there had been multiple attackers? What if Jimmy hadn't been in peak physical condition to defend himself? We could be looking at a completely different story right now. But here's what's really going to make you angry. This isn't the first time something like this has happened to a WWE superstar, and it certainly won't be the last unless we do something about it. Wrestlers are being targeted in their everyday lives because some fans have completely lost sight of the line between entertainment and reality. They see these larger-than-life characters on TV and forget that there are real human beings behind those personas. Jimmy Uso has been entertaining wrestling fans for over a decade. He's given us incredible matches, memorable moments, and has literally bled for our entertainment. He's a father, a husband, a son. He's a human being who deserves to be able to go to the grocery store without fearing for his safety. But apparently, that's too much to ask in today's world. The social media frenzy that followed this attack is both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, it's brought much needed attention to the serious issue of wrestler safety outside the ring. On the other hand, it's turned Jimmy's traumatic experience into content for people to consume and share without really thinking about the human cost behind those viral videos. Some of the comments I've seen on these videos are absolutely disgusting. People making jokes about the attack, saying Jimmy deserved it because of storylines from WWE programming, or worse yet, claiming the whole thing was staged. Are you kidding me? A real person was really attacked, really injured, and really traumatized, and people are treating it like it's part of some elaborate wrestling storyline. This brings us to a much bigger problem in wrestling culture, the inability of some fans to separate fiction from reality. Jimmy Uso plays a character on television. When he's in that ring, he's performing scripted entertainment. But when he's at the supermarket, he's just Jimmy, a regular guy trying to live his life. The fact that this needs to be explained to grown adults is absolutely mind-blowing. The wrestling community's response to this attack has been overwhelmingly supportive, and that's exactly what we need to see more of. Fellow wrestlers, both from WWE and other promotions, have rallied around Jimmy, offering their support and sharing their own experiences with similar situations. It's created a conversation that was long overdue about the challenges wrestlers face in their daily lives. But support isn't enough anymore. We need action. We need concrete steps to ensure that wrestlers can live their lives without fear of being targeted by unstable individuals who can't tell the difference between entertainment and reality. This attack on Jimmy Uso should be a turning point in how we approach wrestler safety and fan behavior. Let's talk about the psychological impact this kind of attack has on wrestlers. Imagine going to work every day knowing that your job requires you to be a public figure, but also knowing that being recognized in public could put you in danger. Imagine the stress of constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering if that person approaching you wants an autograph or wants to hurt you. That's the reality that wrestlers like Jimmy Uso now have to live with. The pressure that comes with wrestling fame is already immense. These athletes have to maintain their physical conditioning, perform at the highest level despite injuries, deal with demanding travel schedules, and somehow balance their personal lives with their professional obligations. Adding the fear of random attacks to that list is absolutely unacceptable. What's particularly disturbing about this attack is how it occurred in such a mundane setting. A supermarket should be a safe space where anyone can go about their business without fear. The fact that Jimmy Uso couldn't even complete a simple grocery run without being targeted shows just how far some people are willing to go to inflict harm on wrestlers. The incident has also highlighted the role that social media plays in these situations. While the videos of the attack have helped establish the facts of what happened, they've also contributed to the spectacle surrounding the incident. Jimmy's traumatic experience has been viewed, shared, and commented on by millions of people, turning his personal trauma into public entertainment. This raises serious questions about our society's relationship with celebrity and violence. Why are we so quick to consume content that shows real people being hurt? Why do we treat attacks on public figures as entertainment rather than the serious crimes they actually are? The fact that videos of Jimmy being attacked have gone viral while discussions about wrestler safety remain secondary is deeply troubling. The attack has also brought attention to the inadequate security measures that many wrestlers have in their daily lives. Unlike A-list movie stars or major musicians, most wrestlers don't travel with bodyguards or security details. They're expected to navigate their public lives largely on their own, making them vulnerable to exactly the kind of attack that Jimmy experienced. WWE and other wrestling promotions need to take a hard look at what kind of support they're providing their talent when it comes to personal security. If wrestlers are being targeted because of their association with these companies, then those companies have a responsibility to help protect their employees beyond the confines of the wrestling arena. The legal implications of this attack are also significant. Assault is assault, regardless of whether the victim is a celebrity or not. The person who attacked Jimmy Uso needs to face the full consequences of their actions, and this case needs to send a clear message that targeting wrestlers in their personal lives will result in serious legal repercussions. But legal consequences alone aren't enough. We need a cultural shift in how wrestling fans interact with their favorite performers. The parasocial relationships that fans develop with wrestlers can sometimes cross into dangerous territory when fans begin to feel entitled to wrestlers' time, attention, or presence in their lives. Education is key here. Wrestling promotions, fan communities, and media outlets all have a role to play in reinforcing the message that wrestlers are real people who deserve respect and privacy in their personal lives. The characters they play on television are not who they are as human beings, and fans need to understand and respect that distinction. The impact on Jimmy's family cannot be overlooked either. His wife and children now have to live with the knowledge that their husband and father was attacked simply for being who he is. They have to worry about their own safety and wonder if they might be targeted by association. This kind of trauma extends far beyond the individual wrestler to affect entire families. The wrestling industry as a whole needs to come together to address this issue. Wrestlers, promotions, media outlets, and fans all have a responsibility to create an environment where performers can feel safe both inside and outside the ring. This attack on Jimmy Uso should serve as a catalyst for meaningful change in how we approach wrestler safety and fan behavior. Some might argue that being a public figure comes with certain risks and that wrestlers should expect this kind of attention. That argument is not only wrong but dangerous. No one should have to accept being attacked as part of their job description. Wrestlers sign up to entertain audiences and compete in athletic contests. They don't sign up to be victims of random violence in their personal lives. The courage that Jimmy showed in handling this situation should be commended. By not retaliating with excessive force and by speaking out about his experience, he's helped bring attention to an issue that affects wrestlers throughout the industry. His response has been measured and mature, setting an example for how these situations should be handled. Moving forward, there are several concrete steps that can be taken to prevent similar attacks. Increased security at public events, better education for fans about appropriate behavior, clearer legal consequences for those who target wrestlers, and improved support systems for wrestlers who experience harassment or assault. The wrestling community's response to this attack has shown that when we come together, we can create positive change. The outpouring of support for Jimmy has been heartwarming, but it needs to translate into lasting action that will protect all wrestlers from similar experiences. This incident should also prompt a broader conversation about celebrity culture and the way we treat public figures in our society. The dehumanization of celebrities that allows people to justify attacking them needs to be challenged at every level. Wrestlers, actors, musicians, and other public figures are human beings first and entertainers second. The media's role in covering these incidents is also crucial. Responsible reporting that focuses on the serious nature of the attack rather than sensationalizing the violence can help shape public perception and discourage copycat incidents. The way this story is told and retold will influence how similar situations are handled in the future. For Jimmy Uso personally, the road to recovery involves more than just healing from physical injuries. The psychological impact of being randomly attacked can have lasting effects, and it's important that he receives whatever support he needs to process this traumatic experience. The wrestling community needs to continue supporting him not just in the immediate aftermath but in the long term as well. The attack has also highlighted the need for better crisis management protocols within wrestling organizations. When incidents like this occur, there needs to be a clear plan for supporting the affected wrestler, communicating with the public, and taking steps to prevent similar incidents in the future. Fan conventions and public appearances may need to be re-evaluated in light of this attack. While these events are important for connecting wrestlers with their fans, they also create opportunities for unstable individuals to target performers. Better security measures and screening processes may be necessary to ensure everyone's safety. The role of social media platforms in preventing the spread of harmful content related to wrestler attacks also needs to be addressed. Videos showing real violence against wrestlers should not be treated as entertainment content, and platforms need to have policies in place to prevent the viral spread of such material. Wrestling schools and training facilities should also incorporate education about personal safety and dealing with fan interactions into their curricula. New wrestlers entering the industry need to be prepared for the realities of public recognition and the potential risks that come with it. The incident serves as a reminder that the wrestling industry, despite its entertainment value, deals with real people facing real challenges. The storylines may be scripted, but the lives behind them are genuine, and the impact of incidents like this attack extends far beyond the wrestling world. As we process this attack on Jimmy Uso, it's important to remember that our response will shape how similar situations are handled in the future. If we treat this as just another news story to consume and forget, we're failing both Jimmy and every other wrestler who might face similar threats. But if we use this as an opportunity to create meaningful change, we can help ensure that wrestlers feel safer in their daily lives. The wrestling community has always prided itself on being a family, and now it's time to prove that family bonds extend to protecting each other from harm. Jimmy Uso was attacked, but he wasn't broken. He remains a respected performer and a valued member of the wrestling community, and he deserves our continued support as he moves forward from this traumatic experience. This attack should anger you, but it should also motivate you to be part of the solution. Whether you're a wrestling fan, a member of the media, or just someone who believes in treating public figures with basic human decency, you have a role to play in preventing future incidents like this one. The conversation about wrestler safety and fan behavior that has emerged from this attack is long overdue, but it's not too late to make meaningful changes. Jimmy Uso's experience, while traumatic, can serve as a catalyst for positive change that will benefit wrestlers throughout the industry for years to come. In the end, this isn't just about one attack on one wrestler. It's about the kind of society we want to live in and the kind of entertainment culture we want to create. Do we want a world where entertainers live in fear of their audience, or do we want a world where mutual respect allows for positive interactions between performers and fans? The choice is ours, and the time to make it is now. Jimmy Uso deserves better, every wrestler deserves better, and frankly, we as fans deserve better than a culture that allows violence against entertainers to be normalized or ignored. Let's use this moment to demand change, to support our wrestlers, and to create an environment where everyone can feel safe whether they're in the ring or just trying to buy groceries. Jimmy Uso's attack was unacceptable, but our response to it can be the foundation for a safer, more respectful wrestling community for everyone. The time for excuses is over. The time for action is now. And it starts with acknowledging that what happened to Jimmy Uso was wrong, was preventable, and must never happen again. Are you ready to be part of the solution? If you thought tonight's story was wild, trust me, what happens next will blow your mind. So don't stop now. Click on the video right here on your screen to continue the chaos, the drama, and the inside scoop only we deliver. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and join the Wrestling News CC family, where the real stories of WWE come to life. See you in the next one.